Hi, I'm Todd Stephens, State Representative for the 151st Legislative District, and with me today is a special guest, Sergeant Jerry Dougherty of the Montgomery Township Police Department. Jerry, thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
We're here to talk about a piece of legislation that we just ran through the Judiciary Committee here in the House of Representatives. And Jerry, maybe you could give us a little background on how long you've been with the Township Police Department and your role there.
Okay. I'm currently a sergeant with Montgomery Township. I've been with the department for 23 years now as an officer. Before that, I dispatched for a little bit, and during my time there, I've been a canine officer, and I'm currently a supervisor of patrol squad in the department.
Now, you brought an idea to my attention, and interestingly enough, after 10 years as a prosecutor, I was a little disappointed I didn't come up with it on my own, but I'm glad that you did, and maybe you could share with our viewers here what the idea was for the legislation.
Okay, well, what occurred was we had a driving under the influence arrest that occurred after an accident. The subject was combative and belligerent toward the officers at the scene and myself as well. We responded then, after taking him into custody and doing the field test on the scene, to the hospital. When we were there, the subject had to utilize the bathroom. We took him to the bathroom. He became combative there with us, so we returned him back to the hospital bed. The nurse at the time, who actually is also a part-time police officer in Bridgeport in Montgomery County, gave him a container to urinate in, and the subject, being combative and belligerent, went and threw the urine at officers and the nurse who was there at the time. When we were looking at the law and the different charges to file against this gentleman, there was a section, aggravated harassment by prisoner, that at face value appeared to cover what he had done. But when we looked into it further and talking to the defense attorney at the time, there was an element in there that only looked toward prisoners, and that's someone who was already incarcerated into a county jail or state facility type of situation. And that did not, by that specific element, cover our situation. So being familiar with you and your office, and now as a state representative, came to you and explained the situation, and we kind of worked together.
Sure. And so just to clarify, if an inmate in a prison would have thrown bodily materials, urine or some other substance, on another inmate, that would have been a felony of the third degree.
Yeah.
But here you had a situation where someone who was detained, although not an inmate necessarily at some facility, was doing the same thing to a police officer, yet there was no charge that we could level against this individual.
Right. An officer would have been covered in the first scenario that you said, but in our scenario, since he had not been incarcerated already, it was not covered.
Well, I'm glad that today in the Judiciary Committee in the House, we moved this amendment. It was an amendment to another bill. I offered the amendment and it passed unanimously, so I look forward to bringing it to the House of the Representatives to the floor, and ultimately, hopefully, getting the Senate to move on it and the governor to sign it into law, and we'll be able to protect the police officers the way they deserve to be protected. Sergeant Dougherty, thank you so much for spending the time and bringing that to my attention.
Thank you very much for taking care of this.
Absolutely. Thanks for viewing, and again, I'm Todd Stephens, State Representative for the 151st Legislative District.